as always, in your own words, just for 30 seconds or so, just explain a bit more about who you are, what you do, and essentially what you've achieved over the past year or so in your business, and of course, whilst being with us.
Yeah, so my name's Adriana, and I'm a fitness coach, and I have basically over the last 4 years been creating content mainly within like the fitness, mental health, relationship with body and food space. And I had basically created a low ticket membership, and that was my only product really online. And the sales process that I had was is quite detached in that I never really spoke to anyone that signed up to my membership until they were within the membership. And so I really didn't know much about sales calls or anything like this. I really thought that my whole, like I had a lot of mindset blockages in terms of thinking that low ticket, high volume is the way to go, etc. So how that kind of manifested is that I really was just stagnating in terms of my income, in terms of the impact that I wanted to have, etc. And I also, in doing so, I realized that what I actually really enjoy is the content side of things and creating content, rather than specifically coaching like the low ticket fitness stuff, And so what I was really attracted to is maybe I can do some kind of Instagram or content coaching for other fitness coaches, because the membership did do well in terms of people coming into the membership purely through organic content, so purely through Instagram. So I thought, hey, maybe I could create some kind of coaching program that has to do with teaching other fitness coaches to create authentic content that brings people to their products, right? To their business. And so I didn't really know how to do that. And I knew that I could like Google it and do all of that, but I had been following you for a while. And I'm just very attracted to like a blueprint. Like I know I can, more than anything, it's like the validation of a coach telling you, this is correct. So, so I ended up setting up a high ticket offer with the help of you and with the program HBC. And I ended up getting my first 7 clients and learning so much, because I was always kind of against one-on-one because of all the coaches in your head telling you like, make it passive, everything should be passive, But then you said, and another mindset shift I had was, absolutely, the one-on-one is great when you're starting out because you learn people's problems right away. So anyway, I've had my first 7 clients, and now I'm going to shift to group coaching. And I made my investment back within like maybe I think 2 weeks, and maybe like 3x my investment basically within 2 weeks. And although I've been a little slow in terms of setting up my the group thing, I know how to do it now because all the steps are kind of set up. So that's kind of how my business has transformed in terms of just being this low ticket kind of fitness membership to then realizing, hey, there's this other skill set and other offer I could also give. So
Yes. Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. And again, congrats again. I think you've done really well. And I think what's really cool is that because of like the audience you've got, the organic audience you've built, and basically just the size of the audience, if I remember rightly, that sort of first 7 people you got, like you said, like it happened so quickly. It's like you've now got people sort of waited around wanting to work with you. It's essentially like a bit of a wait list in a way, right? You kind of got like a wait list there. You know that you're essentially you're going to be able to repeat that to kind of sell out. And the only reason that you capped it at 7 is because of your time. You couldn't really take on any more than 7 people because it was one-to-one. And obviously that's the downside of one-to-one, is there's that time limitation. But like you said, you're now going to be transitioning to a group coaching, which will allow you to then pretty much be uncapped to a certain degree on how many people you can bring on board. And I'm very confident that's going to really take off for you anyway, and do really well as well. So cool. That all makes sense. So what do you think? Obviously you made that switch from low to high ticket, which some people have done, some people are struggling to do. What do you think it was that really allowed you to do that? Like, for example, was it particular strategy we taught that kind of helped you to really see how it worked? Was it the mindset thing? Was it the accountability? Like, I don't know. It's different for everyone. So like for you, what kind of allowed you to be able to do that?
I know this sounds a little silly, but like because the investment like the investment in this program was, it's not small. And I think that's because I always had this idea, but as soon as you actually invest, you kind of take yourself seriously. I know that if I hadn't invested, I probably it'd be August of 2023 and I still wouldn't have set anything up, because I would have it kind of gives you that push, like that kick in the butt kind of thing of like, okay, you invested, come on, let's do this. So that's one thing, is actually just in investing. You want to make the most of the money you put into a program, into coaching. So I'd say that. And then in terms of, it was just really great, like the how to create your offer, it was right there. It was like a worksheet, and I just did it. And so right away I had an offer kind of thing. And actually a lot of so that's the second, is the actual resources that there are very just to the point. There's no fluff. It's really helpful, and in terms of how to take a sales call, all these things, like what story you have to post so that people book a sales call. I just did everything by the resources that you gave us. And then when I was doing a sales call, then I was quite nervous for, so I would just have like the sales thing on the side, the sales call sheet on the side. And I remember, and a lot of it was what I went through with you when I did a sales call with you. And so I was like, okay, it worked for me, so it can work for other people. So I would say it was those two things in terms of the actual just investment, like investing into the program, and two, how direct and easily implementable the resources that you give us are. I will admit that I can take more advantage of the accountability side of things. But what I've been, one thing I've been struggling with a little is just balancing like the stuff I still have to maintain, because I still have a done for you service and some clients there. And I also do have my membership, so I do have collaboration. So there's a couple things I still had to maintain. So that's probably what made me be a little bit iffier on the accountability side. But either way, the everything was so just to the point. And it's like, post this story, do this. And I just did it and it worked, So,
No, I understand that. And look, and I think that's why we tend to overall teach and preach the idea of like the one offer, the one platform, so on, because it does make it easier when you are juggling multiple offers. As you obviously have experienced, it can be quite difficult to then manage one offer to another when there are different types of offers as well. And it's not that you can't do that or you shouldn't, but it's understanding that there are limitations on that, as you've experienced. But your done for you does really well as well, right? So it makes sense to kind of keep that maybe alongside of it, and so on and so forth, right? So there are different ways to do things, basically. And I think that's good, because it shows that us as a program are also flexible to that. We're not going to force you to just do one thing. Like, if you want to do multiple things, we will also encourage you to do it. Just do it in the right way. And I think, if I remember rightly, you're done for you. We've helped you to raise the price on that.
So I had, basically, when I announced that I was offering Instagram coaching or content strategy coaching for other wellness practitioners, my current client came to me and said, like, she was basically like, don't work with other people, like just work more with me, please. And so I raised my price by 7 times I do have some additional work, but I've actually outsourced quite a bit of it. So anyway, all of it was all like kind of a cascade of this decision to do this. Not only brought me those kinds of clients, but it also the current clients that I had were a little bit like, it kind of made them want to work with me more now that I was offering this as an actual service.
Yes. Yeah. 100%. And do you think then you've seen a difference? You kind of touched on it earlier, but do you think you've now seen a difference with, if you were to compare your low ticket clients, the ones who invest into the membership, whatever it might be, like their interaction, their commitment, their investment, whatever it might be, is there a difference between that person, that type of client, and now the types of clients you're working with on the high ticket level? Like, are you finding they are, overall, they're more committed, they're better clients to work with, they're getting better results? Like, what impact have you seen just by simply going to high ticket for your own clients and their results?
So definitely I have a closer relationship in terms of, and I really know them better in terms of those clients that I work with in high ticket. They also tend to be more committed in terms of, I invested in this, like they'll show up to every call. They'll, they are just more committed, basically. But another thing that I've actually learned through doing this is the type of client that I want to work with, because out of the 7 that I started working with initially, very few, maybe I think 2 or 3 actually had a business set up, and the other ones, it was maybe not a misunderstanding, but they more just wanted to create content to be like a lifestyle type creator. And by doing that, I actually realized that I prefer to, or I want to work with someone that either already has like kind of an offer and they want to refine it. Like they want to create content for a business rather than to be an influencer. Like I don't want to be an influencer type coach. I want to create, help them create authentic content and a strategy that leads people to their business. Because what I realize is that those clients, because they have something on the line in terms of they need to make an income, they need to, they take it more seriously. Whereas the ones that were more just like lifestyle, I'm doing this for fun type of thing, we'd often get to the next call. And this is actually something that you taught me, that you and Liv and the other coaches taught me, was you're going to have to change the wording of who you attract as a client. You're going to have to change the like the outcome of your program, the way that you talk about your program, etc. I was saying, I was a little bit too vague in terms of saying I will help you create authentic content consistently. That was it, rather than for what end. So that was really helpful in terms of understanding my ideal client. And so now with my group coaching program, I'm making that a lot clearer, because also it was a little bit sometimes with clients where they don't follow through with some of the things, because again, there's nothing really on the line. They're doing it more for fun. It can feel like the progress and the results you give them aren't as substantial, aren't as aren't really the results that you want to give them. And sometimes you start kind of blaming yourself a little bit, but it's not that. It's just really honing in on who do you want your ideal client to be. But I would have never learned that without doing this and taking on, my first clients and learning a lot from that. So that's kind of the differences I saw. Yes, low ticket and high ticket, but also within the high ticket, knowing the differences between those as well, those clients.
Yes. Yeah, no, that's actually like a really, really good point. And again, another benefit of starting with one-to-one before you transition to something more scalable is that sort of realization you had. You just can't really get that from doing a low ticket. You can't really get that from doing like an online course or that side of things. And so your program or your membership, whether it's, someone's selling like for low ticket, you could be selling that and it might be selling, but it might not be getting results and it might not be resonating with people. It might not actually be getting people the outcomes they want. And the only reason that is because you're selling it to the wrong people. And you don't even know that because you're so detached from it. And so it's a really good point you bring up about the one-to-one and realizing that, which now means when you launch your group program, it's going to be full of people who are ideal clients, perfect for you, who that's going to increase results, increase satisfaction, fulfillment for you, etc. and so on. And that will just start to compound massively, and then really start to pick up and grow. So really, really good point. 2 more quick questions. First one is in terms of you sort of like being in this program outside of now the business sort of impact it's had, has there been any sort of like byproduct of like a benefit to, your lifestyle, just in general, your personal life outside of business? Has there been a knock-on effect from being inside the program that's helped on that side of things as well?
Yeah. So obviously financially it, like I'm kind of just, I also live in Spain, which is like lower cost of living compared to, the UK or other where you're based, etc. And it's made like, it makes a big difference in terms of the ability that you have to even just relax financially. Never never stressed over finances. And granted, I do, you know, I'm a 26-year-old like living on my own, etc. It's not like I have kids or anything, but my excitement for my future is a lot higher because I understand that, like, you know, if you do something high ticket and you make it scalable, the financial implications of that, and like kind of the relaxation and the freedom that it gives you is really awesome. Another thing is that I've been able to like let go of a couple things I didn't really like to do so much, but I felt like I had to because of finances. So for example, this an offer, like the membership that I had, I was spending a lot of time on it, and I realized actually if I just simplify this, it's, you know, and what that ended up doing is that by simplifying that and taking on a bit more of this, which is very remote, you know, I could do calls with people, or it's all just online. I've been able to travel a lot more. And the like this, within the last 3 months, I've maybe traveled maybe like twice a month, and that's been really fun because I can take calls from anywhere. So in terms like the direct impact that it's had is yes, relaxed in terms of financially, but more than anything, I'm actually more excited for my future in terms of just knowing the possibilities that this brings. And when you see, you know, in the wins chat with all the students, when you see like, hey, if they can do, you know, some people have put some crazy wins, and you're like, man, if they can do it, I can absolutely do it too, you know? So that's what I'd say.
Amazing. Okay. Well, look, obviously I appreciate your time, and I very much appreciate everything you said, and obviously very happy for obviously your results, your success, and everything you're doing. And I know you will keep having success as well. One final question, just so everyone knows, like, where can they find you, right? So if someone wants to reach out, ask questions, or even work with you, where's the best place to find you, to contact you, and to have a chat?
Yeah. So on Instagram, I'm Adriana T Blank, and I always reply to my DMs there, and I see them all. So yeah, if you wanted to ask any questions, you can feel free to.
Yeah, cool. Amazing. I will put it down in the description below as well, so people can click on a link and go direct to it as well.